Hey, you, what's your biggest fear?
Hey, I'm Rachel, and this is Tyler. And we're talking about deep relationships. So, who are the people in your life that you are really known by and that you really truly know?
Yeah, because one of the things that we are really committed to figuring out how to do to learn and grow and become as a community is people that live deeply with God and with the people around us. And to live deeply means actually going below the surface, moving past all the superficial stuff that we're so good at talking about, the weather and sports and makeup.
Yeah, sports and makeup.
Sports
I
and
love
makeup.
talking about that.
Good examples. But who are those people in your life that actually know what's going on inside of your heart? And do you know actual stuff about their real interior life? Because the reality is the culture around us doesn't set us up for success with this, because everything is geared towards this super individualism and the technology and social media and everything that we have that's supposed to make us so connected actually, it turns out, is maybe not helping us.
Yeah,
Because
and some good things with it, but like there's not so good things with it too.
But the bad part is that it's really easy to paint a picture of who we want to be and only show certain things, only allow a certain amount of our true self to come out. And so if we don't have people in our lives that we're really going deep with, then none of that stuff comes out. And all these studies are coming out showing how pervasive loneliness is and all of the effects that have on our mental health, our physical health. We're seeing crazy skyrocketing levels of anxiety and depression. And really all of this is traced back to loneliness and this lack of real connection and relationship. But there is good news.
Yeah, we can have connection. Like it's possible. We see it with Jesus and just the way that he lived and how he had these 3 buddies that he was really close with, and then 12 disciples that he spent a lot of time with. And then beyond that, like the crowds and the people around him. But what we see him doing is, along with spending all that time with them, he's asking lots of questions. Like he's an excellent question asker. So he just keeps finding out. He just loves his people by asking more and more questions. And even when it's scary, like letting the deeper parts of yourself be known, like the dark parts, they're like the stuff that you just think people won't love or like. It's so illuminating. Like it's so good for that to be out in the light and to be known and to actually know that you are loved no matter what.
Yeah, so Jesus was an expert at this, and he invites us to follow him. And one of the things that we find out when we start following Jesus is that we're not doing this alone.
Yeah.
That there are a group of people around us that we get to learn how to do this together. And actually, in order to really follow in the way of Jesus, we have to have community. We can't do it alone. And Jesus also says that the world will know we're his followers by the way that we love each other, by the type of deep community that we have with one another, living in unity and deep relationship. And so what does this actually look like? How do we practice this?
Yeah, it takes intentionality. Like our friend Alicia is really great at this. She has a good way. Yeah, shout out Alicia. She has this way of asking you how you are. And it's not just about the circumstance you might have just been talking about, but it's a deeper she's just curious about your life, and her curiosity is makes you feel so loved and known. And so when I answer her, it might like be the hard stuff in my life, and like it's someone to share that with. But it could be the good things, and it's someone to share that with. It's just a sharing that happens, and I feel so loved by her when she asks those questions. So it takes some intentionality, though, to ask the further question, and that's what we want to practice together as a body of believers, of people who are following the way of Jesus.
Yeah, because deep relationships don't just happen on accident, and they don't happen overnight unless you have a sleepover, which is a great idea.
Yeah.
When there's not a virus.
Yeah,
all
that's
around
our
us.
secret way of becoming best friends with anyone is you basically just gotta have a sleepover at their
So
house.
it takes time, it takes being intentional. And so we want to invite you into doing this with us this week. Who is your community? Who are the people around you that you are growing, that you are going deeper with? Maybe you're in a season where you just feel like you don't have that right now. We have lots of excuses that we come up with for why it's not a good time to have community. It's not a good time to put ourselves out there for
Yeah,
relationship.
I'm a homebody sometimes, so it takes some intentionality to just choose to get outside of your house, out of your space.
Yeah, but it's so worth it. So if you are looking for community, we'd love to invite you to come be a part of one of our house groups. You can sign up at vineyardcovington.com and we'll get you some info, get you plugged in where you can learn how to do this with a group of people. Or maybe just find 2 or 3 people around you that you can invite to be intentional with this week. So what does it look like? Shoot a text, have a phone call. That's even better. Do people
Yeah.
still do that?
Yeah.
Or you can invite somebody to your front porch, hang out in the backyard, go for a walk, be outside, and have a real conversation and ask that second question. So get down below the surface. A question about their feelings, their dreams, their hopes, their fears, all the stuff that maybe feels scary, but it's so worth it because that's where we grow. That's where we learn to know one another and how to be loved. So participate in this with us, and then every week coming up, we'll have some more practical examples of ways that we can practice this together. So give it a shot, take a risk, ask the second question, and let us know how it goes. All right, peace.